Welcome back to this week's Vola TV. I'm absolutely delighted that I'm joined this week by our head teacher, Matthew Boyle, and by our curriculum leader for maths, Aileen Drysdale. Hi, Matthew. Hi, Aileen.
Hello.
Hi, Barry.
How are you both doing? Are you well?
Feeling great. It's a lovely sunny day and feeling really excited about how things are going, including with Vola TV.
Brilliant.
Happy to be here and pitching.
Great. Thanks, Aileen. Thank you. So, big news this week is the lifting of the first stage of lockdown. I heard it described earlier in the week as moving from phase 0 to phase 1. And I suppose a big question that a lot of people have at the minute, Matthew, is how does this impact us as a school?
Yes, and that's bound to concern a lot of people. It was important during lockdown that people were, nervous and afraid of silly interactions, because that made lockdown work. Everyone was keeping good distance and not going to work, you're working from home, those kind of things, But eventually we have to, as the First Minister says, get back to some kind of normality. So this is an in-between stage when we begin to introduce more normal activities that we all need, the world needs to move. But only little changes. It's a kind of a little safe changes only. So in practice, in August, we are now beginning to talk about how we can have a blended model. And what we mean by that is that we're going to continue to provide online learning for our students, so that when they're spending time at home, they'll continue to be supported in working towards their courses and their awards. And we're going to introduce a little bit of time in school. So that's what I mean by going from us all being very, very distant and no risk taken at all, to managing that. And we're going to do it very carefully. We don't know yet what it will look like, but we're exploring the idea that only some fraction of the school will be in any given day, and we'll change the numbers of people in any space so that it's much, much safer, and we'll strictly maintain the kind of social distancing that we need to make that work. So once we've got those models sorted out, probably through June, we'll communicate that to parents, and we'll make sure they know which days their students, their children will be allocated to come in. So it's all a bit vague at the moment, but I think the general idea is clear. It's a mixed model, bit of time working at home, little bit of time in school, but that'll be reviewed again in October, I think, by the government, to see how coronavirus is continuing to retreat, hopefully.
That's a really useful update, Matthew. Thank you. And I guess the other thing is that just continue to tune into Vola TV and keep up to date on the Facebook page, looking at our website, and you get as much information as we've got. We'll get to you over the coming weeks. Now, Aileen, I know that you've loads of exciting things going on in maths at the minute, and I know that you've got a bit of an update for us.
I certainly have. One of the big movements that we've got going on in the maths department is moving to complete maths. So while we've been behind closed doors, the maths department have been working really hard, working as a team, working with the authority, going to webinars. Now, Complete Maths is a new platform. If the pupils are familiar with Google Classroom, it sort of replaces Google Classroom, but it's fundamentally for a maths platform, and it will allow us to put all our BGE courses at the present onto Complete Maths. So why we're excited about this is that our new S1 will be the year group that gets to see it and use it first. So in terms of the transition of our P7s coming to S1, it's exciting times for them, and how they're going to be able to use IT both in the classroom and at home in this blended environment. It means that their classroom teacher can be with them all day, every day, every step of the way as they go through their appropriate transition into their levels. Now, it's very exciting, and it's taken a lot of work, and Mr. Reid has been administrator, but the whole maths department have been looking at our level 2 and our level 3 courses, taking the skills framework forward, creating a new timetable, creating a new platform. It'll have quizzes, it'll have puzzles, it will be able to assess their homework, and lots of things that kids don't want to know, like, diagnostic testings, but shh, don't tell them. But they'll be able to work really, really well on this new platform. So the whole maths department are very excited about Complete Maths. So that's something that's been going on. And previously, we've heard about SumDog, a lot of pupils engaging in SumDog and using that to keep their numeracy skills up. We had a competition, and that went down really well. Miss Fogel put all that together. And it's interesting to see what else is happening in Maths department. We've got these virtual classes going on, but as curriculum leader, I can do a virtual visit just as I would walk down the department and open a door and be welcome into the classroom. I can pop my head into a virtual classroom. The other day, Mrs. Beattie was using Kahoot with the higher pupils on completing the square. Who knew? Kahoot with the higher pupils. It's exciting to see that. Google Forms are getting used to assess the engagement with our pupils, see how they're getting on. Mr. Gordon's been engaging well with setting out very clearly the work he requires from his seniors within the NAT4. So there's just lots of little things that are getting used well with the pupils to engage them. As always, we would like more pupils to be engaged. We don't want anybody who has the ability to cooperate and work with the Maths department not to do so. I do know a lot of parents are engaged. I've personally had a lot of emails asking me to help their kid access. Our IT skills have gone through the roof. Who knew what you could learn locked behind a closed door? So lots of different things. There's another thing I want to mention, but I'm going to keep that for later on.
That's brilliant.
Aileen,
Thanks very much, Aileen.
Sorry, but can I just come in there and ask, just in case any of our parents are curious, just very briefly, what is Kahoot?
Kahoot is it's a computer-generated program that puts up 4 possible answers. So you're asked a question, for example, what is the square root of 16? And on the screen would come 4, positive and negative 4, 3, 2. And the pupil has to identify the correct answer to the question. They can use their smartphone, they can use the computer, they hit it, and then the teacher gets automatically like, oh, 80% of the class got that right. And then the computer generates the next question. So it's a rolling program that the teacher can generate a small assessment, a puzzle, a quiz to increase engagement, to check understanding, put it out there, the pupils do it online. It's good fun. It's something we can use that we've used in the classroom that we've taken. And I think that's one of the things, the legacy that we need to look at. What have we learned here in the Maths department working remotely that we can take back into the classroom? I think we've learned a lot of things that in the past there was no need to go and look at. We didn't have to go shopping for these skills. Now that we've got them, the challenge is to bring them back into school and keep them in school and continue to use them. That's exciting.
And I think the big message there, Aileen, is that although the school is physically closed, we continue to be open for business, and learning's still happening, really high quality learning, and creative learning going on, and that kind of leads me on to the next segment. I know that Mr. Keegan, one of our physics teachers, is doing a lot of really interesting work at the moment on space expedition, Matthew.
Absolutely, and it's worth giving a wee shout out. Mr. Keegan, ever creative, was the gentleman who produced the little video of our students' work 2 or 3 weeks ago at the end, with lots of static pieces of work put together, and had coordinated lots of our students to sing a nice copyright-free song for it too, which was lovely. Mr. Keegan is very, very passionate about space, and as lots of you will know, SpaceX are about to put the first American astronauts back in from American soil. At this point, America tends to buy their astronauts' flights on the Russian Soyuz launches, but now SpaceX, which is a private American-based business, is going to do that. So they're going on Saturday, and one of these rare occasions when we can actually perhaps see the launch. You know, if the light is right, we'll actually be able to see the distant rocket, maybe with binoculars or not. I'm not sure, because it will pass over the edge of the British Isles. So he's capitalising on this wonderfully, and we're going to put a wee video sequence in the end of Vola TV this week, and I'll not say anything else about it, except to say that any students that find themselves with 10 minutes thinking, oh, what can I learn now? You cannot waste any time if you're looking up the details of the SpaceX programme and you know what they've been overcoming and doing. If nothing else excites you, the fact that they'll land the rocket boosters again vertically, like something from a 1950s sci-fi movie, in a way that no one would ever have thought was possible, is definitely worth just watching on YouTube. But there's lots of great material on their website, SpaceX, just all one word. So we'll pass on to that video at the end.
So if our viewers hold on at the end, there'll be a wee bit more information there from Mr. Keegan, which is terrific, excellent. I know you've also got some news for us today, Mr. Boyle, about new appointments in the school.
Lovely news. The whole life of a school is all about change and refresh, and we've got the very refreshing Jim Reid in maths, who's been working with us for quite a while now, Aileen, and we've managed to appoint him permanently now. We have Jenny Locke, a biology teacher, who's been stunning in the work she's been doing with us so far. Also Carolyn Bremner, Sinead Summers, and Lisa McEwen. Some of them have been with us already for a little while, some new to us. These last three names are going to be joining the English department and bringing an awful lot of extra firepower to our huge drive to get literacy in the school. You know, young people that read are young people that learn, and we're really passionate about that. And finally, we've got Lorraine Simpson, who's going to be joining us as a new deputy head. She's currently in Clydebank High and comes enormously well recommended, and we're just so excited about getting her. And finally, there's some guy Wright. Who is it I'm thinking about here? Oh yes, it's yourself. It's Mr. Barry Wright, the Richard Dimbleby of Vale of Leven Academy TV. So everyone will be delighted to know that there is no prospect of you rushing off and being stolen by another school next year. So that's our staffing news.
Thank you. Moving on to far more important members of the school community. I know you've also got a terrific bit of news about one of our second year pupils, a girl in 2F2.
Yeah, I just want to share. We'll try and put it on the end of the video, but Laura Gunn. We're not saying Laura is the only person deserving of praise, but every so often a teacher brings something to their attention. And Laura's teacher, languages teacher, was so impressed with the fact that she set a simple little task to put into Spanish a piece of research on something that you're passionate about. Laura is passionate about flying. And she's done a piece of research on Julie Ann Gibson. I didn't know who Julie Ann Gibson was. Turns out she was the first full-time pilot in the British Royal Air Force. And she's produced a little PowerPoint. And the beauty of it is she's got a vehicle for her Spanish, and she's shared that way above and beyond the minimum that was asked for. So we've got se llama Julie Ann Gibson y tiene 64 años, tiene los ojos azules, tiene el pelo castaño, corto y rizado, etc., etc. Just wonderful, absolutely tremendous work. So we're delighted with that, and it's just such an inspiration to see, that our students continue to not just do work, but they go way beyond and they get excited about the work, and so we're excited too.
Oh, well done, Laura, and gracias, Mr. Boyle.
De nada.
We've also got some a bit of a plea to put out via Vola TV this week about returning resources.
Absolutely. One of the things I said earlier, that during lockdown, our priority was to do the safe thing, do the right thing, and one of those right things was to make sure that young people had resources at home. We've loaned people Chromebooks, we've loaned people books. If you need writing materials and you don't have them in the house, you come and we're giving them out at our hub within the school. But I do need people to understand that it's not that we have a big pool of these things. We just simply prioritise the idea that if people need them at home, they take them. But we desperately need those books and materials back. I'm sure Aileen will be backing us up in this. It's not that we have spare sets of anything to put out. Schools run on very expensive teaching resources, so get them back to us. And here's how we're going to do it. There is going to be a large box at the entrance to the school. It's a non-contact system. You walk in, you return your materials, your books, and that. Just make sure that there's an indication in there, maybe a wee piece of paper in the front leaf or something. Who's it from? And what we'll be doing is we're all about the safe practices. At the end of the day, we'll be putting them into a wee waiting box for a few days, just in terms of the government guidelines on handling materials and all that. And we'll then get them back to the departments, and it helps us to be able to run the school for next year, because we cannot replace these things. We don't have that kind of budget. It is literally a couple of £1,000 every time you look for a set of materials for a particular year group or something. in a school. So I know the parents out there will understand what we're saying. We try and give everything we can to the community, but help us get these materials back. We need them back. Okay, thank you very much.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, I think a message that's echoed, certainly, as a former curriculum leader of English, and certainly I'm sure, Aileen, you would support that message too.
Well, you look at the cost of a higher textbook, and when you've got 60 plus kids sitting it, you're starting to run into thousands. So
Yeah.
absolutely, we need them back.
Yeah, absolutely. Aileen, I know you've got a wee bit of a message about the Maths Weekly workout. Could you tell us a wee bit about that?
Oh, absolutely. The Maths Weekly workout was just a sort of small challenge for our BGE classes. So we sent them out at level 2, level 3, and level 4. Nothing too sort of strenuous, little bit of essential skills and some puzzles to work in. And Karen Tucker sort of was the forefront of organising this for the maths department. And if you take example, the first week, we had about 71 pupils engage in that. And if you look at the level 3 returns, the sort of average mark was 73%. So there's a clear indication there's a lot of good hard work going on there in the BGE, our pupils engaging, keeping their essential skills up. So the second one's ready to rock and roll. It'll be getting sent out. The maths teachers were all sent the link this morning to be put up on Monday. So if you haven't done one already, get involved, get engaged with the maths department, get your name out there.
Oh, that's terrific. Thanks, Aileen. It sounds like a really exciting project and something that students can really get their teeth into. On the subject of students, we're really sad in some ways to be saying cheerio to officially be saying cheerio to our 6 years on Sunday. The 31st of May is their official leaving day, and I'm sure Matthew and Aileen, you'll agree with me when I just want to wish them the very, very best. We will miss you, and please don't be strangers. Stay in touch. I think one of the things that we're really keen to do in the coming years is build a better network of former pupils in the school. So please let us know how you're getting on. Let us know about your achievements. And although you're no longer going to be a current pupil of Vale of Leven Academy, you'll always be a former pupil. And those ties will certainly bind. So, to finish up this week, as ever, the school does remain open, although it's physically closed. The school does remain open, and if you've got any questions or any issues or any problems, please do contact us via the website, via email, or by calling the switchboard at the main school office, and we will get in touch with you as soon as we possibly can. So that just leaves me to thank Matthew and Aileen for joining us this week, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Vola TV.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Barry.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Aileen.
Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Keegan and I have some interesting space news to share with you. Luckily for us, yesterday the joint NASA SpaceX mission was postponed due to unfavourable weather conditions. And luckily it's been rescheduled for this Saturday. Now why it might be interesting to us is that if the weather's okay, we should be able to see it from Scotland. At 8:22 p.m, the mission will launch from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, and at around 9:55 p.m, we should be able to see it fly overhead, essentially. And then a little later, at 11 p.m, we should be able to see the International Space Station. Why this mission is kind of historic? Well, it'll be the first time a private company has ever launched people into space. And there's 2 astronauts, Robert Behnken and Douglas Hurley, that are going to take part in this. They have been testing out the Dragon capsule for the last couple of years to make sure it's going to be flight worthy and safe for people to go into space in. The Dragon capsule will be attached to the Falcon 9 rocket, which will get them into space, and then they'll navigate using the capsule to rendezvous with the International Space Station. It's going to be pretty amazing if it actually happens to see people going into space. Now, people go into space all the time. NASA astronauts, European Space Agency astronauts, Russian cosmonauts, the Chinese Space Agency are constantly sending people into space. But this will be the first time a private company has done it. Obviously, SpaceX is owned by Elon Musk of PayPal and Tesla fame. So, yeah, if you're up, please get special permission from your parents to stay up past 8 o'clock, and you should be able to see it. If you look roughly southwest, which for me is over there, I've got pretty good views, but I'm aware the weather in Scotland generally conspires against seeing anything that's vaguely astronomically interesting. So if there's going to be an eclipse, a meteor shower, a comet, you know there's going to be clouds overhead in Scotland. But let's be optimistic and hope for really good weather on Saturday night. Stay up late, and hopefully we can see this SpaceX mission and the International Space Station. Thanks, guys.